Hello, Mario. Land Surveying 1, Session 11, GNSS. Hello. Well, welcome to this, which is possibly the last sort of formal session for this course. So this is the number 11, so this is the 11th one of these, so you've made it through to the end. That's not to say there won't be any more videos, but we'll just have to wait and see how things go from here. But essentially this is the last sort of topic. So we're going to well, you know the drill. So let's go to the large screen and work our way through. So first of all, the plan, which is pretty much unchanged from all the other plans, in that we've got the 2-hour tutorial in the CAD room where I introduce the topic, take any questions, and generally do my best to encourage you to read the resource material provided, get on with your work, do your worksheets, fill in your diary and what have you. So yes, and then we have the 4-hour practical. So things are sort of coming to a conclusion, so we'll have a look at an overall view a little further down the track. So in today's session, or this week's session as it is, we've got a few learning outcomes that we just need to look, and these give us a few clues as to where we need to go from here. So first up, the first outcome, you should have heard of the concepts of Global Navigation Satellite Systems, GNSS. So I've provided a lot of materials in the Moodle site, a huge amount of material. It's really up to you to look through this material, but I suggest before you do that you review the typical exam questions that have come up over the last few years in this subject, and review the material with that in mind. I also ask you, as part of one of the worksheets, that you compile a poster that fully describes the GNSS concepts that you need to be working with. And so that comes out of the material I've provided, and there is a vast amount of material. So it's really up to you to view as much of that material as possible, but in particular as much of that material that you deem necessary for you to be able to answer the questions of past exams and perhaps anticipate questions of future exams. You should have, in going through that material, described the development of GNSS and its impact on surveying, which is quite vast, and it has developed well, particularly in within my career, but possibly over the last 20 years, possibly, oh, more than that actually, 20 to 30 years. Okay, you need to have specifically identified the components and segments of GNSS. This is a fairly typical question that's asked of GNSS, and it's sort of just a sort of a background question, but it's always asked, so it does pay to know what is meant by components and segments of GNSS. Explained the GNSS positioning methods, including code ranging and carrier phase measurements. So to have a bit of an understanding of GNSS positioning. Remember that we're talking typically, when we're doing these, about survey grade type GNSS. There are various other grades, as you will be aware, as there is GNSS, or GPS as it's also known, on your phone, on small things in your car, items of can be tracked, and all sorts of things. So it's really important to differentiate what you're talking about and what the differences are between the less accurate and the more accurate GNSS equipment. The survey style, survey grade GNSS being in the upper end of accuracy of GNSS. And you will or may encounter in your career less accurate GNS that can be used for data acquisition, like when looking for a manhole cover, accuracy to the nearest millimetre is possibly not necessary, or when locating a power pole or a pylon, which is a fairly large item, accuracy within a metre is probably all that's necessary. Height accuracy might be a different story, but again, you might not need height accuracy at all, just in terms of GNSS location. And identified error sources of GPS included atmospheric, clock orbit, satellite geometry, multipath, and antenna error. So these are the learning outcomes for this particular session that you need to be cognizant of, so that you can have yourself the full GNSS experience as anticipated by these learning outcomes. All right, so the simple survey concepts. Now, the simple survey concept of GNSS can be pretty much summed up with this diagram here. First of all, the base receiver, and this is an RTK GNSS. This is a typical one. There are others even within the RTK genre. But essentially, the base is set up over a known mark. So using the satellite constellation, it determines a satellite solution for the position. It then determines the correction for that position to the actual real position, as indicated in the diagram. So it determines determines a satellite solution, and then a correction that would need to be applied to that to get to the real position. It then radios that correction to the rover. The rover determines a satellite solution, applies the correction to determine the position relative to the real position that it is in. Okay, so the base over a known point, satellite solution, the difference between that and the real position is correction, correction radioed to the rover, correction applied to the rover satellite solution to determine the new position or the actual position of the rover. And that is the simple survey concept of GPS or GNSS, as it is also known. Okay, is your diary up to date? So I've asked that you fill out a diary on a weekly basis. So I suggest that each session I remind you of this. This is the 11th time I've reminded you to update your diary. I think that if you haven't updated your diary or started your diary now, any more messages of this nature are possibly wasting my time or falling on deaf ears. If, however, you have been updating your diary on a regular basis and keeping it up to date, you should continue to do so, and you may well have got into the habit of completing your diary, which is admirable. And you can get your diary filled in, get it to me, and you can get 5 marks, or 4 or 5 marks, depending on whatever the marking schedule said. Probably the easiest 5 marks you'll ever get. But I believe perhaps one of the more helpful life lessons that you'll learn, or a habit that you'll develop. So yeah, I hope things are going well for you in the diary area. The worksheets, again, the worksheets, twofold or threefold reason here. The people that do the worksheets tend to be up to date with the work, tend to understand what's going on in the practical sphere, and bring their knowledge to the tutorials, and seem to ask questions that move them forward with their learning. So there's 77 worksheets. If you've done them and completed them and put them through to me, I see no reason why you wouldn't be getting full marks in that area. So then again, that could be 9 or 10 marks. So straight away you're 15 marks underway. So yeah, the worksheets can be worked on right up until the end of the course, until the exams sort of start there. As they doing the worksheets is an effective way of preparing yourself for the exams. Prepare and review the worksheets. If you've done, if you've done all the worksheets, you understand the worksheets, and you can do the stuff on the worksheet still going into the exam, I can see no reason why you would not pass the exam and why you would not pass the course. But there may be someone who proves me wrong in that area. I hope not. Assignment 2, the traversing assignment. This week is the week that we should be starting to finish off certainly the data collection for the traversing assignment. So you should have closed have a closed traverse through 4 marks. Have done radiations to all of the posts and recorded those, and you should have done topo shots of the stockpile. So all of that information should be collated and in a reasonable state, so that it should be closed out and ready to start producing the plans and reports using 12D. So that's the intention. If you are having some problems in that area, please let me know. I know that some classes have been quite significantly impacted by the weather, so we need to possibly talk about that and see how we can go with getting this traversing assignment over the line. But as I've said earlier in the course, communication is king. If you do not tell me, if you do not talk to me, I cannot know what your circumstances are, what problems you're having. So communicate, communicate, communicate. And if that doesn't work, communicate. All right, so where are we going to do? Where are we going next? What are we going to do from here? So this week should see the traverse assignment completion, I say, for the data. That's the data collection. I will be, as groups finish the traverse assignment data completion, I will be looking at GNSS field demonstration. So I will be demonstrating the setup of the GPS, some ways to use it. There's some practical tasks to be done from that. This week is the last worksheets are issued, so worksheets 1 to 77 have been issued this week and should be sort of good. Next week I will continue with the GNSS field demonstration, and the traverse assignment, as I say, is due. But some of you have been impacted by the weather and other issues, so please talk to me and we see what we can do about getting this traverse assignment across the line. The week after next, the 29th, the week of the 29th of May, will be the traverse test on the Wednesday. Okay, the traverse test on the Wednesday, and we will be, depending on where we are, we may do some GNSS field demonstration, but I will be available during the practical sessions for examination preparation. Exam prep will be going on in this time, 29th of May, week ending 29th of May, exam prep. 5th of June is Queen's birthday, so the Monday class, there won't be too much happening there, I hope. And we'll be doing examination preparation, as we will be doing. So I will, in the tutorials, possibly run through a few little examples and things. Particularly good to have feedback from you as to areas that you're having difficulty with or problems you would like me to look at in those weeks. And also I may do a review of the topics as they relate to the exam. So that would be good. I have at this point in time possibly I have seen what the national exam comprises of. So there may be some areas of preparation there that obviously could well be based on my knowledge of that examination. So you need to pay careful attention to what I say, because I will be ensuring that everything that's in the national exam has been covered during the course of time. So that, although that may not be patently obvious, listening carefully during that time is well advised. Okay, so that's sort of how we go from here on in. One thing I will be looking at is trying to prepare a grade predictor based on your marks and things like that. Will enable you to get a bit of an idea of where you sit and what sort of work you need, or what sort of mark you're going to need in the final exam to get you over the line, or to get that A+ that you were seeking. So what's new on Moodle? Well, let's have a look. Okay, so here's the essentially I don't think there's been too much movement in the area of the assessment, although I would point out to people in looking at the assessment that we have got the Travis assignment here, and that the in the Travising assessment here, there's a number of little videos that enable you to input data and to process the data that you've collected in the field with some ideas there. I have not put a direct example of exactly what's required in the assignment report. However, I do have some reports from past years that I am happy to go through with you on a one-on-one basis, but I'm not prepared to give you a copy of those because I want you to do original work of your own and to work on your own report format rather than copy someone else's. So by all means, come and see me and I can give you some to look at, but please don't ask me for a copy for you to copy. That sort of defeats the purpose. All right, let's just go now to this week's topic, GNSS. And what we've got here is a thing called media, and in this media, under this tab, I've got a video that I produced on survey grade RTK GNSS. There's a lecture series here, a very lengthy and comprehensive lecture series here that you can go to and listen and watch lectures and videos. It is very comprehensive and very professional by Jan Van Sickle, and it's really if you've got time to go through and that you'll really benefit from that. There's a brochure RICS virtually level, which is well worth reading. There's a tutorial from Trimble, the Trimble GPS tutorials here that we can go to, and these are a series of videos and things explaining how GPS works, and again very comprehensive and well worth going through there to get a good understanding of GPS. I do recommend that a good understanding of GPS is essential to you. It's something increasingly that you'll find as an engineer is going to become you'll need to be familiar with. Some of you in going out into the field, particularly for contractors and that, will obviously be encountered GPS fairly regularly, and in particular, so it's a good skill to have and something to, if you can understand it, probably that's going to be quite important to your potential employers. There's some notes here, introduction to GPS, so a good basic little pamphlet here that just goes through the basics. It is a little bit dated. There's some things that have changed in there, but generally the basic thing has worked. The idea of selective availability, where an error was built into the GPS signal, is now no longer how things are done. But certainly, if you're looking at errors and things like that, very helpful and very basic and understandable. So quite a good little one there. Some more notes here, student notes here from various sources. This is some GPS linear measurement and GNSS module put together by Matt Crombie, previous tutor. So yeah, again, some good background material. And also here some GPS notes here that I have acquired from various sources in my career as a tutor and teacher. So yeah, a good variety of information there that will give you some really good background on things. So go back to here and back to here. Now this, we've got a GNSS quiz here, which you need to done. Again, your session plan, notes, and things here. Now this is the basis of the learning here, is that I've asked you to produce a GNS poster. All right. Now the idea of the poster is that you, having reviewed all that material, you distill it down to a few basic elements on a poster, and that's sort of your part of your study process, whereby you review a large amount of information and then you distill it down onto a poster. Helps you to understand. If you can do that, you've got it understood, and that's becomes a set of study notes for you. So this is the worksheet for the poster. These typical exam questions that you'll be familiar with, practical tasks. Now these can be done over 2 or 3 sessions, so they don't have to be done specifically this week, but you do need to get them signed off at some point. So there'll be other opportunities in subsequent weeks to get these done. So you need to have that with you in your practical classes. And these are comparisons. So what I do as part of the practical tasks is you measure or find the coordinates of some of the marks that are part of your Travis program, and then you compare those with what you did in your Travis to what you calculate from the GPS coordinates, and then you have a look at those comparisons and differences to see, how good they are, and discuss those differences. So these here are from 2016. So they're the field notes that came from 2016. As we collect data in 2017, I'll put them in here and remove these ones and put the 2017 ones in here. Okay, so yes, and then once you've got all that information together, you need to put it into a single PDF document and send it off to your tutor for feedback, and that's going to look something like this. Okay, so here's your cover sheet there, just like Stu. Control-0. Oops. Perhaps not. No, not going to do it. Right, and there's your checklist, all nicely filled in. Obviously, you would do it on different dates, but just to give the idea. Here's your completed quiz with the letters in there, and again, that's sort of a bit of a study guide there. To make sure you get them right. Yeah, the the questions there are quite loaded, and bits of information that will be helpful. Here's an example of a poster that's done by a student previously. Please don't copy this exactly. You need to do your own work and do your own research. It's in the doing of the research, the reading of the material, deciding what to put into the poster. These are where learning occurs, when you're manipulating and thinking about the material and discussing it. This is where you learn about it, become familiar with it. So please go through that process, because that's the intention of this little exercise. Here's some the exam questions, some potential answers. Just remember, these are other students' work. They might not, there may be better answers or better ways of putting things, so it's up to you to do your research. Just copying what's here is probably not going to be too much help to you. You do need to do the research. Come up with your answer, an answer that you understand in language that you would write. So there's no point coming up with the U-boot answer if you don't know what half the words mean. Okay, and then so there's the practical tasks which have been signed off. This is the 2016, so I've added an additional one here which relates to the here key. We do need to take a look at that. I'll just go back and look at that when I finish here. And these are some comparisons here. I would like to see some actual calculations of the comparison, possibly done on a Travis sheet or something like that. So this is an area that needs improvement. Discuss it with me. I've got a better way than this. So yeah, please talk to me about that. I'll just go back here to the practical task here. No, that's not what I wanted. To the GNSS practical tasks here, and you'll see that I've added in here oh no, I haven't. Okay, I had intended to add in there okay, I'll just see if I can find that elsewhere. I had intended to look, so I found a bit of a, I will fix that up on my Moodle site in due course. So this is land surveying here. This is worksheets 76. Okay, 76 and I think it's that one there, possibly 14th of the 5th, 22nd of the 5th. Try that one. I don't know what that is. 76, so that's in the wrong place. It might be this one here actually. Control 0. Yes, I've added one down the bottom here, and so this is the new practical task. Witnessed a site calibration using a here key GNSS based setup. So I will be doing a site calibration. So this is where we set up at a random point, set up the GNSS at a random point, which for a variety of reasons, possibly security or whatever, and then we go and take measurements to a number of known points, which enables us to determine the coordinates of the random point and as the base station, and then we can continue on with our GNSS situation. So you do need to have a good understanding of a site calibration and what using the here key means. Alright, so that will be corrected and fixed up in due course. So here we are back at the Moodle course, and that's enough of the Moodle course, I think. So what we'll do here now is back to me on the webcam, and as I said, this is the last video of these sorts. So there's quite a lot to get through. Obviously, the introduction to the course, but this should this is the last one. So thank you for your diligent attention to this course. Good luck with your exams and your exam prep, and hopefully I see you in an advanced course next year and in some other areas of the course next semester. Cheers. See you.